Hello, everybody. Welcome to SimpleBiz360. I'm your Simple Biz guy, Jeff Mason, and we're here on episode 4. And thank you, Mason, for that great intro. And so, again, I'm going to recap real quickly what we're doing here in these podcasts, what we're all about. Everything we're doing in the podcast is taken from this book that I've spent a good 30 years putting together. It's called SimpleBiz360 Timeless Business Tools. There's 255 business tools in this book that are tailored towards and really geared for the solopreneurs in the United States. There's 20 million of us. I'm a solopreneur myself, been running a company on my own for 12 years where I'm the only employee. So I write and I speak and I interact with people who do the same thing I do. I'm not coming from some 20th floor corner office, talking down at you. I'm right here, 4 feet above the ground, driving a 2012 Ford Escape, around the upper Midwest doing my thing. So I do the same thing you do. So just let's understand that we have that common thread. So what we're going to talk about today is something that is near and dear to me, and it is from our chapter entitled Customer. And again, rewinding quickly, our 255 tools are arranged in 8 different groups. Those groups are analogous to a tool chest, if you will. That old red and silver one on wheels in the garage had 8 drawers. Well, we have 8 drawers in ours. And this is coming from drawer number 3, which is our customer drawer. And today, this is tool number 63, and it's demonstrate respect for the time of the customer. For the time of the customer. Think about that for a second. Everything you do is trying to please a customer. And my effort is always focused on whether you can get a repeat transaction from that customer or a referral, or maybe you've got a blended business where you can get a repeat and referral kind of out of the same customer, if you will. But to do that, you've got to do things in customer-pleasing ways. That's what SimpleBiz360 is all about. We simplify and we just strip down all the noise. We get right to these simple tools, and this is one of the bedrock tools. Think about this for a second. One of the biggest issues I've seen in my career is backpedaling. And I'm going to focus on this for a second because backpedaling, the more you do of that, the less respect you demonstrate and show customers for their time. What is backpedaling? Backpedaling is where you either make so many mistakes that you're going backwards, you're dragging the customer backwards, and instead of going forward and streamlining your efforts and moving on to the next project, you're cleaning up old messes. And when you put a customer in a position where they have to backpedal, you're not answering emails, you're not calling them back, and they've got to keep backpedaling and pestering you and going backwards. Trust me, the silent business killer, which we discuss in this book, that silent business killer is at work eroding the ability for your business to get repeat or referral customers. So just think about, again, what I said in episode 2, where you go back to that reflective thought place. How do you put together concepts and programs and services that customers want? See things through their lens, step in their shoes, sit in their chair, remember? Same thing here. You really want to understand, what does a customer's time mean for them? More importantly, what does a lack of respect for customer time mean to them? Well, I can tell you this, it means bad things for your business. It means low repeat and referral rates, trust me. So what you want to try to do is you want to try to create and craft customer-friendly programs. You want to try to craft and put together user-friendly programs. Easy steps. How do you do things in easy formats? Give the customer, if it's a 7-step process, spell the 7 steps out. Tell the customer where to go to do the 7 steps. Outline it. Make it simple for them, just so they have no need to go backwards. This is huge. And we all may think this is a trite statement, but answer emails promptly. You have no idea how this is so aggravating in business today when people don't answer emails prompt. And I'm going to give you a great analogy, and I love analogies. You'll find out if you read the book or you listen to more podcasts. But here's an analogy. Pretend I got somebody right next to me and I turn to that person and say, hey, where do you want to go eat tonight? And that person just looks off into space and doesn't answer me. Say, hey, Bob, where do you want to go eat tonight? Bob? Bob, you there? Well, Bob's off somewhere in who knows where land, thought land, and he's not answering me. Well, that's what not answering emails is like. You put your customers into the black hole of cyberspace. They don't know whether you got their email. They don't know whether you're working on what they asked you to do or the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 things they asked you to do. And this is going to cripple your business if you don't do it. And by not answering that email quickly, you're showing a lack of respect for their time. You really are. So just think of it as though that email being sent to you is like a conversation with Bob next to you. Hey, Bob, where do you want to go eat tonight? Yeah, I don't know. Haven't given it much thought. Great. Now we're tracking. We're both talking to each other. That's what an email is. It's just that you're not there in front of each other. You're not on the phone. You can't have that interaction. But treat it like that face-to-face conversation, and you will show respect for the time of these customers. Trust me. Just think about that. Getting to the customer before they get to you. Huge proponent of this. I have found in my 35 years plus in business that this is an essential ingredient to show customers that I respect their time. And by the way, if you do this with regularity and a customer, perception is reality. It really is. So if they perceive you as being a vendor or a customer that does respect their time, oh man, they reward you because they like it. They're not going to audibilize it to you. They're not going to tell you in some flowery email. They're not going to send you flowers or candy and say thank you for being. They just go, geez, that's a great company to deal with. Those guys are on it. They respond quickly. Man, they don't make me go backwards. I go forwards. They do what they say they're going to do. And they're really saying, without saying it, that company respects my time. They do. So just try to think about that with everything you do and everything you bake into your programs and you bake into how you respond to people. Are you doing it in that fashion? Well, getting to the customer before they get to you is huge. I'll put it this way. I'm going to give you a classic example going back to the mid-'90s when I had a customer service team member. And I used to always think of it this way. If I had 250 questions a year for this customer service manager, let's just say I have 250 for the whole year, and I asked each of those questions once, and that person makes me ask that question a second time, or that person makes me follow up with a phone call a third time, and in some cases ask a fourth time, just to get something done. I've now expended 750 questions. I've gone to the well 750 times. So number one, I look like and feel like a pain in the neck to this person, but they're not responding to me. That's why. If they answered my questions the first time, I'd only have 250 questions I asked, right? But what if they got to me 125 times before I asked the question? And they thought, Jeff's probably wondering if this got on the boat yesterday. Let him know. Hey, Jeff, just want to let you know those 130,000 trousers got on the boat yesterday, so we're looking good for delivery. Have a great day. Bam. You know what I mean? This is where if you can start crafting your programs to get to the customer before they get to you, you are doing yourself a huge favor with repeat and referral business. You're doing yourself a huge favor on giving yourself and your family a better return on your investments of time and money, and you'll hit the pillow at night much happier because I guarantee you people will notice this and respond to it. Leave clear voice messages. You know what I used to do years ago? I learned it, and I couldn't even tell you how many dozens of people responded to me and told me, hey, this is great. I used to leave a voice message, and then I'd say, to return my call, please call 555-1234. That's 555-1234. And I did it in a slow cadence. I did it. I separated the numbers a couple different ways, or I positioned them a couple different ways. I couldn't tell you how many people came to me and said, "Dude, you leave such great phone numbers and voice messages. That's awesome. I can understand it the first time. I didn't have to listen to it 3, 4, 5 times." Right? How many times have you had to do that in the old days, right? So just, again, it's something simple, but I'm trying to use it as an example to kind of, get the point across. But again, restaurant servers. I thought about this the other day, and it struck me. I bet you they would get better tips. I'm a business guy. I'm on the road, and people can tell I come in. I'm in a hurry. They'll come up and say, "Hey, can we get you some water or coffee?" Yeah, and I know what I want to order too. Oh, okay. That should be like a green light to trip off to that person that, hey, this guy probably wants a quick check. He probably wants to pay as he's eating so that this guy can order, eat, and finish and be out of here, 20, 25 minutes, maybe tops. I'm just saying, if you were able to think of it that way and do things like that, now, in my opinion, that gets the person a tip of 20 to 25%, in most cases 25% from me. That's just how I operate with it. I go, wow, that person's on it. They understand my time is valuable. So just, again, think about that. Do the work for the customer. Anytime you tell a customer, go to my website and you can find the PDF there. Well, I don't know. Okay, you might want to tell them what tab it's on. You might want to maybe send them a link. Maybe send them don't even make them go to the website. Maybe say, hey, you know what, Jeff? I'll send you the PDF form in a few minutes. Don't worry about trying to find it. I'll make sure I do that for you. So again, do the work for the customer. Anytime you put the customer into a position where they have to continue to do the work for you, you're putting yourself in a position where it's going to be less than favorable in terms of return on your investment, repeat business, referral customers. That's the way it's going to go. So again, I say that anytime you can bake this into your way of doing business, showing that respect for their time and money, they won't audibilize and thank you for it personally and go, hey, great job. But you know what? They're going to thank you. You won't even know some of the people they pass your phone number and your website link on to. They're going to spread the news far and wide that you're doing the right thing. Now, all of this, again, comes down to you and we all invested personal funds, many of us, to get where we are. I spent $12,000 starting my company. I had to use a couple different a blend of a credit union and a credit card, but I spent $12,000 starting my company. That's low in comparison to a lot of people, but still, I want a good return on my investment. I want to make sure that was money well spent, that I'm making money in the long haul. One of the things that is an interesting byproduct of respecting customers' time, it leads to more business for you, which leads to higher repeat and referral rates, which leads to, I would think, in most cases, better revenue generation for your company. You're getting more business. You're earning more money. And it really comes down to, and I promised you I would talk about it this session, and we're going to end every session with this, is in my book, I've referenced it twice. There's 2 spots where it's called handful of sand. And at the end of that explanation, we say, hold on to your sand. So what is sand? Sand is it's small little crystals that represent your pennies, your nickels, your dimes, and your quarters. Businesses don't go out of business because they lose dollars. They go out of business because they lose pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters over and over and over again. And their margin is eroded by them losing these little bits and pieces, these little coins that add up. So we present a simple exercise in the book. Next time you're at a beach, just try this. Finer the sand, the better. Grab a handful of sand. Bring your fist up to about eye level and just watch how much of that fine sand falls out of your hand. Now, you're holding on to that pile of sand pretty tight, right? Well, those little crystals that are falling out on the ground are representative of those pennies, those nickels, those dimes, and those quarters that are slipping out of your hands. So when you don't want to go down that road. You want a better return on that investment. You want to hold on to more of that sand. And by respecting customer time, it's one of the first legs of ensuring that you are giving customers what they want. They're going to come back for more. They're going to pass your name on to other people. They're going to recommend your company to other places. So just think about it. There's a whole lot of other things we could talk about here, but that are analogous to that or part of that process. But I just wanted to throw out a few, and in my promise to be 10 or 12 minutes, I just want to make sure that we don't go over. But again, this is from the customer chapter today. It's tool number 63 that we're focused on. And, the book is $18.95. It's on Amazon.com. You can go to our website and order it. You can get it for $8.95 in ebook format. Next week, we're going to be coming to you with another show on tool number 95, and it's a real cool tool. It comes from our procedures chapter, which is one of our 8 drawers in the tool chest, if you will. So again, we thank you so much for coming, for listening today and joining in with us. Hold on to your sand. Join us next week for our next episode, tool number 95 out of the procedures chapter. Have a great week.